Hi, scrapbook friends. Here I am, Nicole from Nicole's Scrapbooks, back with volume 3 of my 2015 family album. I hope that you've had a chance to see volumes 1 and 2 so that you'll understand the progression of the title pages in the 3 albums. Volume 1 was this same kind of spirally tree, which is clip art that I found on Google Images. I imported it using Make the Cut software and cut it on my silhouette. In volume 1, I did snowflakes. In volume 2, I did green leaves. And here for volume 3, I did autumn leaves. And I love how this turned out. I love the progression of the 3 title pages that tie the year together, but yet they're not all identical. Some years I put pictures on the title page. A lot of years I don't, mostly because I wouldn't know how to choose which ones to put on the front. But for this particular year's albums, I really love how this turned out with the coordinating title pages with these trees. So this album starts out with me flying up to New Hampshire. It was my dad's 80th birthday, and my aunt and uncle own a beautiful lake home up there in New Hampshire and generously let us stay there for the weekend. My siblings and I and my parents got to fly up there. I was able to stop on the way and visit my friend Lisa, who we have known each other online for many, many years, but this is the first time we had a chance to meet in person. I have a couple little random airport pictures. And then my sister was flying out from out west and met me, and from the last leg of our trip, which was from New York to Manchester, New Hampshire, we got to sit together on the airplane, which was very fun. So my aunt and uncle's beautiful lake house has a nickname of the Hotel New Hampshire, so it's kind of what we called it that. I had a fun Dodge Charger as my rental car, and I just have some random pictures of this. These little leaves were from a Creative Memories, like an open house or a customer gift from several years ago. I was a Creative Memories consultant at that time, and I have a bunch of these, and so it was nice to be able to use them. And this whole trip was not quite enough to be its own album, but maybe a little bit more than fits in a family album. And because I went by myself, this is a terrible picture, actually, let's cover that one up. Because I went by myself and not took my whole family, it might have needed to be in its own album, but I put it in the family album. So this is the biggest whoopie pie I've ever seen. And so that was a very terrible selfie of me. And then so here we are with our family. My dad was wearing his Alabama shirt, so that was fun. And then just lots of pictures of us sitting around playing games, singing around the piano, one of the things we love to do. This same kind of color scheme with the 2 tones of orange, just a little bit of textured orange, and then a solid brighter orange, and the different pieces from that Creative Memories customer gift from a few years ago. So we were past peak autumn leaves, but there were still some beautiful, beautiful colors out there. So I have some beautiful leaf pictures. The actual birthday party for my dad, some of the gifts that we gave him. I love this picture. This is a little 8x8 album I made for him with pictures of him with the kids and the grandkids and little notes from everybody in the family, little notes of appreciation that we made for him for his 80th birthday. And so that was a fun little gift to give him. They told us that the autumn leaves would be over by October. When we got there, they were wrong. If it's prettier than this earlier in the season, I don't know how people can get anything accomplished, because it was absolutely stunning to see the beautiful fall leaves. We tried to take a couple of group photos. We didn't remember to do it till after dark, so we got one that was a little too dark, one with a flash, a little too flashy. But we still, took these group photos as best we could, because whenever we have a chance to get together, you want to have a record of that. So this is the next morning. We tried one more, but it was cold and kind of rainy, but lots of pictures of me with my parents and my siblings. On my way out of town near the airport, a couple of my online friends came and met me for lunch. Years ago, we had a joke that, be careful not to ever meet up with someone that you only know from online, because they might be an axe murderer. And so ever since then, we've started referring to our online scrapbook friends as axe murderers. And so we called this our axe murderer meetup, and yet there were no axes to be found and no one was murdered, so go us. So here's a fun layout. My friend Frida and I have a tradition of going out to lunch. Pre-COVID, we have a tradition of going out to lunch every other week, and I often end up with pictures on my phone of our lunch dates, and so I wanted to document that kind of important part of my social life are my lunch dates with Frida. So I just kind of journaled about that and used kind of this fun girly paper for our little girls' lunches. One of the things I do with my phone a lot is I screenshot funny things, and then I don't know what to do necessarily with those pictures. So for this one, I printed out some of the screenshots and just kind of saved them because they were just funny things that I wanted to save. And I had this fun kind of tech paper from an old paper stack. And this is that technique with the crown punch that I showed you in my 2015 Disney trip. Volume 1, I think I showed you how you do with the crown cartridge and overlap the two pieces that you double punch. So this is that same technique, but with using only one color. Halloween, always fun to scrapbook. I think this is some Stampin' Up! Paper, I think, that I've had for many years. And I just, kind of did a traditional little border, but with a colored background. If you remember, I had done a spring slice of life back in volume 1. And so here again, I just had a few random pictures. I got rear-ended, the mustache picture, my daughter playing her harp, thing I helped with. And then I love this sign that was like a $200 fine, but it didn't tell you what it was a $200 fine for. So anyway, I just put these random pictures, and I like how this layout turned out. Very simple, very fun with the chevron border maker cartridge. We babysat a friend's puppy, this little tiny, I don't even know what kind of dog it was. We are cat people. We don't, I don't know much about dogs, but boy, he was cute. Turns out he really likes cat food, and I learned thanks to Pinterest or to Google that you are not supposed to let cats eat, or dogs eat cat food. So we didn't let him have very much of it, but he liked it. And I had this cute kind of dog bone paper and some kind of puppy paper, so it was fun for me to get to do a puppy layout for once. Another scrapbook retreat. I went to a local retreat house in Scottsboro, Alabama with some friends, and I have a couple layouts from this Grand Oak retreat with my friends. If you remember our pet corn Cornelius, the girls found this giant corn at like the thrift shop and bought it to bring home to be Cornelius's birth mother. I don't have any idea what happened to it. I didn't bring it home. I don't know who took it home. I was trying to take a selfie with this cute Christmas wreath, and it wasn't going well, and my friend was taking pictures of me taking the selfie, so that was just fun. Our group photo, some of the food. A lot of the girls have elves, and the elves work together, and my husband did come up and bring Cornelius to meet his birth mom, so that was fun. This is a little bit of teal, kind of sparkly ribbon. I don't use a lot of ribbon in my scrapbooks, but I like that one, and I like that it was sparkly. Every year on Thanksgiving, our church does the turkey bowl at a local park, and I usually stay home to prep for Thanksgiving, but my husband went and took pictures so that I could scrapbook the turkey bowl, which is a fun tradition, part of our Thanksgiving festivities. And then Thanksgiving at our friend's house. I never take enough pictures on Thanksgiving, but I had a few of them. Of course, the girls hanging out, everyone on their devices. This is that same technique that I did on a summer page where I had gone around with grass. And on this one, I used this scallop. And so I probably need to make a video of this technique as well to show you kind of how that works. I don't know that I recognize this paper. It might have been CM paper, but if it was from a couple years ago, and my mind has purged that from its memory. This is a fun paper pack that I had for a while. I think it was also CM. I just had random pictures. Again, because we have a phone in our pocket that takes pictures, I end up with a lot of random pictures. I would never, 20 years ago, have taken my camera to the mall to take pictures of us while we were shopping. But we took a little selfie in front of the big Christmas tree and then some stuff in this giant candy store. And they were fun, and I wanted to save those fun pictures. And 99% sure this is a Pinterest sketch or a scrapbook generation sketch. And if I had another picture to put in here, I would have done it, but I didn't. But still, fun pictures. Big giant lollipop, big giant Snickers bar. What's not to like? So every year, my husband and I, sing in a choir for the annual Christmas festival. And we take pictures. My friend Shelly and I are back row altos, and we get into some shenanigans during rehearsal. So we have some fun pictures with, fun hats or whatever. Our choir director was moving, and so we had this quilt made for her, and we had a little sad farewell of losing our beloved choir director. I love this layout, again, probably from a Pinterest sketch that I was able to modify using the papers that I had. I like the way the circles work. I think what I did here was I figured out the circles, and I think they must be 2-inch-ish circles, but I did the circles first, and then I measured to here to know how big this paper needed to be so that they would go right to the edge. And then, made my pictures fit in, trimmed them down to fit in according to the layout, was able to squeeze some of these pictures in. And then part 2, our friends came to the concert. My parents actually came out this year and came to our Christmas concert, which was very fun, and ran into someone that they knew. And then the daughter of one of my high school friends happened to be in our area, and so we were able to get a picture with her that I could send to him, which was just a fun, small world kind of thing with our friends. So here's just a picture with my parents, who came out not for Christmas because they have their own Christmas traditions and my mom's own Christmas concert and all those things, but came out to see us at Christmas. And so that was really fun. This was the holly border punch, and I just punched it in green and laid it on some metallic red cardstock. I really got to get my hands on some more red metallic cardstock because I love that. And then I did this. I did it, the title, cut out the title with my silhouette just in red, and then it was just a little too blah. So I used actually some stickles, some red glitter stickles, and colored in the letters to give a little bit more bling because it was getting lost with this metallic, and it's still a little bit lost, but you can tell that says Nana and Opa. My husband's company always hires a professional photographer at their Christmas party, and he gets really good pictures of us all the time. And the company gives us an 8x10 for free. So I'm probably not going to hang it in my house, but I'll always make room for it on my scrapbook, in my scrapbook. This was the Sprout Border Maker cartridge. I trimmed off a bunch of the little pointy pieces and just kind of left the Christmas lights. And then I punched extra to get these little metallic Christmas lights. Looking at it, I almost wish I would have cut a second strand and kind of woven them together, because it's a little bare for Christmas lights, but I think it looks cute. This is another layout that I got from a Pinterest sketch. I was inspired by a Pinterest sketch. Sorry, I'm trying to not have any light reflection off of the page protectors. I didn't have very many pictures of Alex's birthday, but I wanted to fit it in a 2-page layout, and so I just cut these really big letters. Once again, I did them with my on my silhouette using Make the Cut. I love that I can stretch the fonts so that this one I needed them kind of to be taller and skinnier so they fit in this space, and I was able to distort them and move them to make them fit the space I needed them to fit. And I had this fun birthday paper, Old CM, from years ago that was 8x8 paper, and so that worked really well to cut out all these letters. And I just think this is a super fun page. I even put washi tape around the edges. I've got gobs of washi tape. I don't know why I have so much washi tape. I almost never use it. So I was proud of myself for using some washi tape on these pictures of Alex's birthday. And then we get to Christmas Eve. So we have 3 kids, and our daughter, Katie, had gone to Disney with us in October, and so had told us that she wasn't going to be able to come home for Christmas because she'd used all her vacation in October. And so We did all our Christmas Eve festivities without her. And then at about 10 o'clock, we were doing our annual watching of It's a Wonderful Life when lo and behold, the car pulls up out front, and it was Katie, who had surprised us and flown in from Utah and had managed to get her, get Christmas week off after all. And only she and Michelle knew. And so they'd been scheming all along with some friends of ours who picked Katie up at the airport late at night on Christmas Eve and brought her home. So it was the best Christmas surprise ever. Nothing Christmas morning could possibly have had in store for us was going to compare to the surprise of getting to have Katie come home for Christmas. So that was super wonderful to have Katie surprise us on Christmas Eve. So Christmas morning, of course, I didn't know that Katie was going to be home. So it did take a little scrambling to figure out some Christmas morning things. Luckily, we have her stocking, and it was not a hard thing to fill it. And perhaps some of the other people got a little less in their stocking because Katie was home. Once again, I've used that picket fence cartridge that I used back on Memorial Day. I don't know. I guess I was on a picket fence cartridge, or I forgot to put it away. But I'm loving these little pointy peaks that you can get with that picket fence cartridge just by putting it behind and putting a strip of paper. You could use the same color, or, well, like I always seem to do is use a contrasting color, and then you get this little cute kind of rickrack edge. And I did all our Christmas morning pages basically the same. Katie got a lot of printed out pictures of things that I had sent to my parents' house in Utah, which is where I thought Katie was going to be for Christmas. So I hope that that wasn't too not fun for her. There were also a few things that my parents were supposed to have taken back with them when they had come out for our Christmas concert a couple weeks earlier, that they had stashed away, and Michelle knew where they were. So Katie did have a few presents still left from under the tree. So that was fun. And yeah, you probably don't have to do all the pictures of all the Christmas presents, but I think it's fun sometimes to look back and, you know, see what gifts we got when. Okay, maybe 4 double page layouts was a lot. Here's Katie with our orange cat Marcello and Simon. Separate picture, I admit, but he kind of looks like he's meowing at us all for something. He's a very meowy cat. And then our Christmas dinner tradition. We eat a thing called, some people call them Hawaiian haystacks. I grew up in Hawaii, so we always called them Chinese Sundays. And basically it's just rice with a bunch of toppings and some, like a chicken gravy. And it's our favorite Christmas tradition because it's easy to make. It doesn't take a lot of time in the kitchen, and it has something that everybody likes. So it poured rain on Christmas, poured and poured rain, and our yard kind of flooded. We live on a hill, so when our yard floods, it's more like a stream that gushes down the hill. And then we have a drainage canal behind our house that just gets filled up with water. And I just took all these pictures. It's so hard to take pictures of rain. It's just not like snow. Lots and lots of rain. Actually, I wrote in here, luckily we live on a hill and don't have to worry about flooding. So why I said it flooded, I don't know. Other places flooded. But I used some washi tape again. Go me. So my daughter for Christmas got this little radio-controlled BB-8 that you control with your phone. She had to have it. It was like her dream Christmas present. And we played with it quite a bit on Christmas Day and not so much since then. But I am so proud of the little BB-8 that I made with my silhouette. This is another thing where I was able to just go online on Google Images and find a line drawing of BB-8, import it into my software, and cut it out and layered it so it's white, gray, and orange. And then I did the title the same way. And in real life, it doesn't kind of blend into that orange background as much as it looks like on the camera. There you see, you know, you can see it a little bit better. When it's down here, it does look like you can't see it. But in real life, I promise you can see it pretty well. And of course, the cat was tormented by BB-8 because little rolling around, moving things are questionable for cats. And then just fun pictures of the things that we did. You know, the girls in a little playhouse at Costco on clearance and playing some games, playing this marshmallow game called Chubby Bunny, super fun. And a little bit of Bananagrams, which is one of our favorite games to play together. And then, of course, this saying, I don't know where it originated, but I've seen it several places and, in fact, is true. Much as we love Disney, anywhere we can be together as a family is our favorite. And then after Christmas, because we didn't know that Katie was coming home for Christmas, we invited my sisters, one that lives in Wisconsin, one that lived in Baltimore, to come for that week between Christmas and New Year's. And so it was a big, happy family. We were pretty crowded in there. This is my niece's cello case. I walked into the back family room and I thought it was an alien. So I had to take a picture of that because I thought it was funny. And just the girls hanging out, the cousins playing, and all the rest of these, I did the same basic layout. And if you remember back to the beginning of the year, we did the NY3. So this is that same sister and her family that were there for not quite New Year's Eve, the beginning of 2015, and then at the end of 2015. We were able to have them with us both times, which was super fun. And more pictures of, you know, the chocolate fondue, and then family pictures in front of the Christmas tree. And the end of our book, Hello 2016. This is probably New Year's Day, so technically this belongs in the 2016 album, which apparently I'm not quite done scrapbooking. But I put the little stars on foam dots. I think this is a sticker because I don't think that our border maker punch is quite that thin, a little zigzag, but I liked it. Anyway, the same kind of style through all the pages. I think it turned out great. Anyway, that was our year 2015. I hope that you enjoyed flipping through my album with me. I hope that it gave you an idea of kind of how I think about scrapbooking and the thought process behind some of the layouts that I do. Also, I'm sure that it showed you that I get very distracted from the layouts and the papers in the layouts by the photos. And I think that that's the goal that I have for my albums, is that yes, you think, oh, that's cute paper, I like that design, but the pictures, I want the pictures and the stories to be the focus. So if you enjoyed this, if you've enjoyed my other videos, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. That doesn't get you any emails or any kind of spam unless you turn on notifications. But what it does is it tells YouTube that people like my channel, and it will suggest it to other people. And it means a lot to me to see your names as being new subscribers to my channel. So if you are inclined to do that, I would love it. I will be back again soon with some more scrapbooking ideas and album flip throughs. Until then, happy scrapbooking.